I'm excited to read this finesse book.
Yeah, same. Mm-hmm.
Finessing.
Okay, I thought about that.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Miss Me, aka Maybe the Greatest Love Power Radio Show. Today is Saturday. It's May something. Oh, May 15th. How could I forget? That's the other part of my rent due. Whew. Anyway, it's Saturday, May 15th, and we're back. My girl ain't here today, so in the words of the Truth of the Mean, short for the Truth of the we black out. I know it don't sound as good as she says it, but you know, we gotta keep the spirit alive while she's out doing her thizzle. And so, y'all already know. Well, y'all don't know. Our guests don't know, and you look surprised, like, I don't know what to expect. It's real simple, and it goes like this. I want to know how y'all week was, right? How you doing?
Well, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Yes.
Yeah, same. Doing good.
Awesome. Okay, so I believe in 100% class participation.
Okay.
Right? Be natural. Be as natural and normal as possible. Mm-hmm. All of my people are kind of natural, normal, off, out of the bucket, out of the box type people. So, you know, just be natural and normal, right? You don't have to be. I heard you earlier say that you're very serious. So that's cool. We're going to work on that. We got some candy for you. Anyway, my week was interesting. I talked before, you guys, about dealing with fibroids. And so I got my MRI results back, and I have right at 30. And so it has been an interesting week. I think I had one day of extreme dizziness and nausea. So that was really interesting. I was tired all day, but I'm here. I'm back. Other than that, my week was awesome. I'm still alive, so I'm grateful for that. And so I'm excited today because we have in our presence what I like to do at least once a month, and that's celebrate Black couples. So welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome. So, and your name is Jahcorrian?
Jahcorrian. Mm-hmm.
That's a name.
Yes, it is.
Where? So I want to do like people didn't know. Well, how you get that name? Like, is you?
Well, so
is your people from here? I had somebody ask me once, "Are you Black?" And I was looking at me like, "Well, yeah."
She'll tell you. I hate that question.
I absolutely hate it. I was floored when I was asked because it was by another Black person, and so my name is Miriam. And when how you get Miriam? Daddy said, "I'm going to name her Miriam."
Well, my aunt actually named me, and I actually had this conversation with my mom a few years ago, and because I have an older cousin, his name is Cadaro.
Okay.
And
sounds like a knife.
Yeah. So I asked my mom. I said, if she already has a son named Cadaro and she had another son named DeQuaylen, why did you let her name me?
That sounds like a fish. DeQuaylen sounds like a fish with a lot of fins, but okay.
So that's how I got the name Jahcorrian. But I did research, Jahcorrian because it's an interesting name.
Okay.
And I did find that it means, in Rastafarian, it means the small god.
Nice.
Because Jah, I guess that's who they pray to. And so it comes from there. Then Corey, if you look it up in the Urban Dictionary, it's actually the most handsome gentleman there is.
Okay.
And so I am the small, handsome god.
All right, so you got a small god that's the most handsomest god of all. Okay, come on, the N.
Yeah, so, well, that's pretty much it. And Ann is me.
Nice. Come through, Auntie. Did you high five her when you talked to her about it?
No, I didn't.
No? You gave extra roses on Mother's Day or something?
No, we have an interesting relationship in my. So.
Do I need to eat chocolate to hear about that?
Oh, I mean, it's like
I'm just looking for a reason. I mean, no,
it's so we have like I would tell you, just to be open, in my family, we have like, obviously, like crap talking or
Okay,
S
okay.
talking,
Mhm.
and so it's like now she would be like, you're laughing too much, but of course, like it wouldn't be like that, So, so
She's kind of cutthroat to say it easy.
Oh, really?
so like in our
She's
family,
like
kind of
tiny
joke around,
little
like
firecracker.
Oh, well, what did you say? So she's 4 foot tall.
oh
Yeah.
maybe if
There you
that.
go. Okay, well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But it's with love.
Yeah, it is.
Lots of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have 4 foot tall friends. Hey, ones. So let's talk about, because I'm looking at you,
Mhm.
and I heard you say on the other show that you're very serious.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at Miss Beautiful here, Cybal, and she looks like playful. You can be matter of fact, but how did y'all meet?
I put a representation on. I'm not gonna lie.
Shut up.
Like, well,
So when you walked up to her, was it like one of them smooth ones, or
He
when you?
didn't walk up to me. He drove up to me.
Oh,
So I was actually coming out of the gym, and he apparently opened the door for me, which I didn't realize at the time that he had opened the door because at the gym I'm just one track minded.
Mhm.
I was headed back out to my car to put my work clothes away and then head back into the gym. And I only had like a 2-hour window because at the time I was a single mother.
Mhm.
So it's like get to the gym, go home. That's it. He pulled up in his truck and he was like, "Hey." I was like, "Hi." I don't know this guy. Like, I don't. I'm trying to like track in my head. Who is this? Who is this?
dang,
And
they
then he
found
was
me.
like, and then he was like, "Oh well, do you know, Pierre? Are you Devin's sister?" And I was just like, "Yeah." No one ever asked me about my younger sister's sister. So I was like, "Okay,
This is creepy.
yeah." I was, yeah. And then from there, he just, running the gang, and I was like, okay. He started asking.
You too. Okay, how you doing?
Yes. And then from there, we just kind of texted, and then
I asked her on a date.
that same day.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and
So-
then literally just been inseparable since.
So you didn't waste no time.
No.
Okay.
Mhm.
So when you seen her, you knowed when you saw
He
her.
knew that he liked my booty and my smile.
Oh, okay. I mean, we believe in keeping it real here at the Love Power Radio Show, brought to you by Starner. So
It's married to
yeah. So those squats worked, or was that beans and cornbread? I'm just asking.
It was a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Okay, cool.
An equal balance.
Yes, we believe in balance. Yes.
But it wasn't teeth, though. That's what it was. It was teeth.
Huh. Okay, we'll go with that as number 3. I mean, I ain't mad.
Mhm.
If it was the shape of her, that's okay, because normally that's what brings you to the person. So
Yeah.
that's cool. And how long have you guys been together?
4 years today.
Oh, today. That's right. Happy
Yes.
anniversary.
Mhm. Thank you.
Ooh, so I wish y'all could. Y'all stay. Okay, anyway. Staying for the party that we're having later. Get some anniversary gifts.
Yeah, we heard.
We'll talk about that though.
Mhm.
So, you two, what I want to know is, you've been together 4 years.
Mhm.
When did the business start?
Maybe about a year into the relationship.
Okay.
When we first got together, I was already running a screen print T-shirt shop
Okay.
out in Katy, and she was working at a school. And pretty much, just first I was asking her, can she help me as far as like trying to get different accounts
Mhm.
with that particular school district,
Okay.
so that we can be able to make their
Nice.
shirts and stuff of that sort. And then when she would get off work and on the weekend, she would come to the shop and like help me print shirts, and etc. And so after probably like at the end of that school year, she was trying to decide, well, did she want to go back and teach, or did she want to leave that because she was getting beat up by all the kids there.
Well, I worked in special needs.
Oh, yeah. Beat up. Mhm.
Yeah, so
Literally.
so she would
Yeah.
come home and complain
But
about
I
all the
love
scratches and everything.
Mhm.
So get to that, and so I just told her like, hey, that's not what you want to do.
Yeah.
My mindset, I'm a firm believer in that's not what I want to do. I'm not going to do it.
Nice.
I'm going to do what I want to do.
Nice.
And so that mindset kind of rubbed off. And so
Good.
she left the school and she went over to I9 Sports, which is like a youth sports league in the Houston area, and where she was the director of that. And then maybe about 6 months, she decided to leave there and then come work, and build the family dynasty.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you that it was easy. She will tell you. It was like pulling teeth at first. And it's just like
a mindset.
It's a whole mindset shift.
Yeah.
And I would tell you, and you probably sensed it already, me as an individual, I'm like, when I'm focused on something, this is where all my time and my energy is going to. And like, even now in business with us together, like she'll tell you, like she hears me say it a lot. It's like, hey, you can either join the program or you can sit and watch it from the sidelines, but it's going to happen.
Yep.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very matter of fact, you are.
Yes.
And then I also heard that you're under 30.
Yes, 27.
Yes.
I wish I was like that when I was 27. I'm old enough to be your mom. But anyway, and that's what I wanted to ask too, because you said you were a single parent. So how did that look like dating or going into a relationship with, I guess I can call you driven, right? What did that look like for you?
For me, it just made sense because as a single mother, I was very driven myself. I had 3 jobs at the time, and it was just me and my daughter, and we had our own place, and everything was great. It was great. So when I saw that,
it wasn't this great though.
It wasn't this great. You're right. No, but it was good for me being, young and very new to life. I was only 22.
Oh wow.
I was 20 when I had her, so it was I was young. No degree. And so I felt like I was in a good place. But so I was very driven and just very focused on myself. And so to answer your question, seeing how focused he was and how he had a vision and just the mindset that he has still, which has evolved now, but the mindset that he had at that time, just talking and getting to really know where his head was at, it just made sense. So it wasn't difficult in that aspect to transition to think like, okay, this is somebody that I would take serious and actually want to start a future with.
And you showed that because you jumped in and started helping him with the t-shirts. How did you feel when he asked you about helping him get accounts?
Yeah, it was a no-brainer. Like I was like, I kind of want to say I suggested it because I was already involved with the school. And so I was like, hey, we actually have a few team shirts that we need to get done. Can you guys do that? We're actually getting quotes right now, but I wanted to see if you could do that and we'd get a better quote.
Right.
Yeah, you did push that. We were already like pitching to the school district, but that's like one layer, but she was actually inside of the school.
Right.
And so those are like, so the way that it works with like any type of vendor service with the school district is that you first have to pitch to the head of the district, and then it's up for the schools within that district to pick and choose once the district allows you as a vendor, for that particular district. And so we were already like affiliated with the district, but we didn't have any accounts yet with them until Cybal started helping out.
And I asked that question because I've talked to, I have single parent friends. I have friends that are single. I'm still single. But people who have come across a man who will say, hey, can you help me with this? And for some it's like, when am I getting out of it?
Yeah.
So was that a thought that crossed your mind, or was it just like, let's do this?
Yeah, no, it wasn't, just because I don't know. There's just something about me that I've always been a caring and I want to help.
Okay.
That's just always been my demeanor. And so it was a no-brainer to just be like, hey, dude, like, I like you. You're a partner. Let me help you. You guys have a t-shirt shop. Like, why wouldn't I want to bring business.
Mhm.
When I bring business, that's money in your pocket, and you're dining and mine and me. So that was.
So let's make sure you make enough,
Mhm.
right? So we can go down here to this place over at the Galleria.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's looking at the big picture of the
But even
situation.
before that, I think probably like because I'm big on like principles, like just like natural life principles.
Okay.
And so I think it was more so like the rule of reciprocity kicked in because I was already like before that, like without her even asking me, I was already contributing to half of her rent or
Literally. He
and
was
things of
like,
that sort.
"Wads of cat, here you go." And I was like, "What?"
Okay. Hey, Mr. Ogilvy. Nice. That's awesome. Can you
Yeah,
teach
it
some
was
other people? No, I'm just
refreshing.
kidding. When are you teaching a class? Pull up your pants, first of all, child, before you come in this room.
Yes.
I'm just saying. Because rule of reciprocity, what you said. Don't nobody know that word.
Well, so the rule of reciprocity is basically just a natural law of saying that if I give you something, you got to give me something back in return. And so it's kind of like an expectation without an expectation, because it's not something that you give and you expect something in return. It's just like basically the people that you're dealing with, you should know that in their heart, they're not going to allow you to just give them something without providing you something back.
Right.
And so, still I never asked for anything. And when I did ask for her, like, hey, I'm trying to do this. You think your school, like maybe needed any shirts to be made or anything like that. She was just more than, willing to help me.
That's nice. So we're going to take a break right quick. And then we'll be right back with, I'm going to call y'all Power Couple. Power Couple, Jahcorrian and Cybal Burkes.
This show was sponsored in part by Flat Fee Tax Prep and Services, offering quality tax preparation, serving clients nationwide. For more information, visit www.flatfeecreditandtax.com. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you. Hey, it's your girl Lisa Dene, and I want to tell you about a product that has changed my life. Rain Premium Sanitary Napkins. Rain products are infused with a Nobel Prize-winning material called graphene. It's the graphene strip that provides the various health benefits that can improve your quality of life during that time of the month. Listen, I've been very loyal to a certain brand of feminine products, but I've never experienced the results I get with Rain products. The difference is in the graphene strip. Using Rain products has totally eliminated the painful cramps I experience, and it can also help balance your body's pH, eliminate harmful bacteria, and help fight fatigue. Graphene moves heat away from your core to keep you cool and comfortable. Ladies, it's time to upgrade your feminine care with products that not only offer protection, but also improve your health and wellness. Place your order today and receive your premium sanitary napkins delivered directly to your door. Visit www.drfcare.com to make your purchase today. And don't forget to mention that your girl Lisa Dene
because they don't know how to handle that.
Okay, cool. And we're back to the Love Power Radio Show. I almost forgot where I was, y'all. Anyway, I started eating chocolate, so, ain't no telling what I'm going to say. But anyway, and we're here with Jahcorrian and Cybal Burkes, the lovely power couple, one of the lovely power couples in Houston. And so we were talking about co-parenting, right? And what that looks like in the Black community. Give me your thoughts on how that looked for you, because you were the single parent going into this.
Yeah. It was interesting, to say the least. I'm a very easygoing person. And so, and I guess I'll give it a little bit of a backstory, but I grew up with my father. And so my father never asked my mother for anything. She lived in a completely different state.
Wow.
And so in my eyes, it was always just, you take care of your children, and it's on you to take care of your children. That's it, nobody else. And so when I kind of got into those shoes, it was just me and my daughter. I didn't ask her father for anything. And I just planned on keeping it that way until I started dating. When I started dating, he wanted to get into this this character that I've seen him turn into with other people, but never with me. And so the spiteful and just fictitious ways of his doing, I mean, like publicly, social media, literally every and anything you can think of to tarnish me, he was doing.
And we're talking about the child's father.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was almost like the roles were reversed. Like you see baby mamas do. It was very much that.
Wow.
And so it just kind of got, it got to be way too much for me. I don't like to deal with confrontation, and I definitely don't like to waste my time. So I was like, you know what? Let's just clean this up. Let's go to court. Let's handle that. And then from there, maybe it'll be better. It actually got worse.
Wow.
So to answer the question, to being a single mother and, you know, before getting into the relationship, it was okay, I thought. But then you finally actually see the real person and how angry they can be if the terms ended prior to what they thought they were going to actually end. Meaning I broke up with him, so he probably wasn't over it as much as I was. So the vicious, you know, just situations and just, I don't even know. Just, yeah, it just got bad. It got worse. But things really made sense for me in the way that I responded to those things because I had Jahcorrian. And it was actually something that he's experienced before, just, you know, watching aunts, uncles, and, you know, family members go through that situation. So I had a lot of support from him as far as how to handle it and how to just keep it as clean and easy for our daughter as it could be.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good. And what was it like for you? I know she said you were her support system, which is huge. Before I go there, because I know, and I've experienced this, I've had people not want to date me because I don't have children. So was there ever a thought for you, well, he ain't got kids, so maybe, I don't know.
No, that wasn't a thought for me. And I think it's kind of in part to my daughter, my oldest daughter, her father actually had a child. And so, but that was just interesting. And it wasn't something that not to say that it was a bad situation. It was just not, it wasn't something I wanted to do again.
Right. Of course.
To keep it easy. and so when I saw that he didn't have children, at the time he was 23, I was 22, it wasn't an issue to me. And I didn't see it to be an issue. If he had children, plural, at 23, that would have been an issue to me.
Right. Okay.
Well, for me, as far as like dealing with that, I'm a people's person, and so I read and like study people in general.
Okay.
And so as far as like interacting, I don't know. I just try to play it as like a game of chess. And so you usually like, you know, just have to learn that person's like their desires and what their end goal is. And then you try to, you know, work with them and give them their end goal, but while still, you know, keeping your upper hand in the game as well. And so really, you know, to say the least is really just about being a man in that situation. And as far as a man, I would say not like to act in aggression and, you know, just like full on strength, but really to be able to control the situation and to de-escalate things in a manner to where you can guide yourself all the way through it.
Can you give an example? Do you remember?
Well, so this is probably going to be like the juiciest part. When we, okay, so for instance, when meeting,
So when meeting him
for the first time,
he was actually at my father's house talking to my father. I don't even know why, but anyway, he was there, and Jahcorrian came, and he came to get me, and he was like, "Hey, I just want to introduce myself. You know, I will be around your daughter often, and you know, I just would like to respectfully introduce myself." And he did not put his hand out to meet Jahcorrian's hand, and he said, "Nah, dude, I can't even shake your hand because I'm still in love with your girl."
Wow.
Yeah. And so
that's not a joke.
Okay.
It's real life.
And
Who
so,
writing that book? Y'all wait now.
and so
Jerry
well, one of
Springer.
the ways of dealing with it as a man is just, of course, I feel like a boy in that situation, he would have made it confrontational.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
and then it's like, well, you have your woman here.
Mhm.
And then we know, like in those cases, if she sees that both of these people are fighting, then she doesn't know who the bad guy is.
Right.
And so, just simply like smile and then take a step back.
Mhm.
And then, the next day or days on, this guy, he's just wondering because he can't get up under your skin.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's wondering how to beat you. How can he defeat you?
Mhm.
How can he make, the person that he still loves leave you?
Mhm.
But, all you have to do is just keep your composure and guide yourself throughout the process.
Mhm.
So anytime that this person, whether it's baby mama or baby daddy, they're trying to deter you from being with that particular person,
Mhm.
all you have to do is just stay strong and know that, hey, you with this person, regardless of what, this person is saying that may have happened in their relationship previous,
Mhm.
or that, everyone's going to have their side of the relationship of what happened.
Right.
So just know that, like, let's say if it's coming from a baby daddy or a baby mother who doesn't really, value or respect their partner, they're going to do and say whatever they can do
Mhm.
to kind of like deter them from
Any
moving
kind of
forward.
happiness, yeah.
From any type of happiness.
Absolutely.
And so, as long as you have that mindset, is that the greater purpose in this goal is to be happy and to better everyone else around me,
Mhm.
then you'll never let them deter you. But in the event that they do get under your skin, you also have to know how to control that and know your ins and outs as well.
Mhm.
So I say, in the event that you do, like Miss T was saying earlier, you got to put on your Nikes, and you want to
With the arch support.
yeah, you want to make sure that you do it in a way to where no one is going to be able to see, like, or anything that can come back on you.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, basically, like what I'm saying is there's a way to do any and everything
Absolutely.
and a way to execute it and be powerful in doing it.
Yeah, that's it. All this from a 27-year-old.
Yeah.
Again, when are you having your seminar?
Um,
You dropping nuggets on these people like you in your 40s or something.
Oh.
I mean, I appreciate you coming through with it. So let's talk about how many businesses you guys have.
So we are headstrong and focused on real estate specifically.
Okay.
But we do have different, I guess you could say, rivers that kind of branch off
Okay.
from real estate. We have the coaching program, which he actually does coach realtors themselves.
Oh, cool.
And then I'll kind of let you talk about the rest of it. But we also have books and planners for realtors, and then the book negotiations. Well, both of his books are actually for everybody.
Mhm.
But the planner is geared toward realtors and their first year, specifically for their first year, but it can be for any of the years that they are in real estate. But it's just to help them keep track of their follow-ups, keep them motivated. There's quotes in there,
Mhm.
as well as what to do as far as their daily layout.
Mhm.
No.
And then and the daily layout goes to say basically if they do those specific tasks during the day, and those are the tasks that I did as far as in my first year of real estate, and that's how I was able to close 12 deals in my first year.
Nice.
As a person that didn't know real estate before, wasn't a homeowner, wasn't even renting a home at the time or anything of that sort. But just if you follow just the things that I did, because I know for sure that it works. The planner could be very successful for you in that portion of it. As far as the coaching, I not only coach professionals, but I also coach consumers as well
Okay.
on how to buy and sell their real estate.
Okay.
And of course, when I say I coach, also sometimes I do represent those individuals as well. But of course, they choose to have me as their representative because of the knowledge that I do have in the field of real estate.
What do you mean by represent?
As far as, like, let's say, even though I can give you all the knowledge and you can read my book on how to purchase a home, I still would say not for a consumer to go into a real estate transaction
Gotcha.
without someone professionally representing them,
Mhm.
because it's not something that they do every day.
Right.
And just with, I know some of the knowledge that I have, if I was to interact with someone who is not in real estate,
Mhm.
and this is something they don't do every day, usually I can have the deal to be one-sided.
Okay.
And so you want to make sure that you avoid that at all costs, especially when your money is online.
Mhm. Absolutely. So, and what are the titles of your books?
The book is called Finesse,
Okay.
the first book. And then my second book that's going to be released on May 24th is called How to Buy a House, Tested Edition.
And the third book is going to be, no, I'm just kidding. I mean, that's an option. That could be a play or something. That's a whole script right there. I can't because I'm, okay, we're talking about y'all business. I'm sorry. I digress. I'm just saying. I look forward to when y'all doing that.
Yeah.
So what made you go into real estate? Out of all the businesses that you could pick up and run with, what was it that brought you to real estate's door, so to speak?
There's a few points.
Yeah, there's quite a few things that brought me to real estate. I would say, far and foremost, when I was younger, there's this lady that my mom, like, she was friends with, and this lady would always come around, and I was like, she never does anything. Like, how does she make money? How does she have this? It's like she never did anything. Like, I never saw her go to work or anything. That's what. Versus, from growing up in a house to where my stepdad was a truck driver, and my mom, she is a factory worker.
Wow.
And then, we have my mom's friend.
Doesn't do
She
anything.
didn't do anything in my eyes. And so, like, I later found out what she did, and I thought that was pretty cool. But also from living in Longview, Texas,
Okay.
and then driving to Houston to come here and visit my dad, there's just so much land, and you see all the trees, and I'm just like, well, why don't the people never come back to see their land, or why do they just leave their cows or horses there? In the way, not thinking that, well, this is a whole, business, basically. And so then, I get to Houston, and I'm doing all this other stuff. Like, when I first came to Houston, I was like working at Best Buy, and that was 8 years ago. And so I was working at Best Buy, really didn't know, what I wanted to do. And then, just kind of started like get into different things. I went from Best Buy to quote unquote a better job at AT&T.
Everything.
Yeah, everything is sales. I left AT&T, and that's when I started the T-shirt shop with my siblings. And then,
wow, that was interesting.
So yeah, really interesting.
Whew. You can take a breath.
And then, so like after that, it's just always been a grind for me. But after being in a T-shirt business and seeing that, and just like reading and really like trying to pinpoint what I wanted to do in life, I always knew that I wanted to be a business owner.
Okay.
Just from the jobs that I did have from working at Best Buy, AT&T, I didn't like the fact that I have to be told what to do and when to do it. And like one of the like biggest things for me that like just pushed me, besides my daughter, to like just execute in real estate, to jump in, was working at the phone store, and the manager asked me to clean the restroom.
That is always the thing for people. It's like, yeah. Keep this.
So yeah, that was my thing, and they thought that I was being like arrogant when I told them that Jahcorrian don't clean restrooms.
He was so serious, and he called me, and he was like, "Sybil, I need you to tell them." I am not joking. I cannot do this.
Wow.
Well,
So, but what did you say? Like that calmly? And I'm asking because I didn't.
No, I said that comes Jahcorrian don't clean restrooms, and she was like, "What?" And even called the HR and the district manager in, and my response is the same thing. And they're like, "Well, why don't you do it? Do you have a medical condition?" I was like, "No, I just don't do it." And so then it was just that, and they're like, "Okay, well, you gotta clean the restroom." I'm like, "Okay, well, see you later."
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, at that point, I had already hated going to the job every day, just because it's like I'm steady going to this job. It's so demanding of what I do when I'm there, and it's demanding of my time as well. But what I'm getting paid, it's just going towards bills. And it's like, this can't be life.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I'm like, hey, that needs to be a change. So I had already had my real estate courses already completed because I took those when I first started at AT&T. And we found out that we were pregnant, and that's a story, like how we found that out.
That is
Yeah, so found out that was pregnant, and I just said, you know what, I'm just done, and just started real estate from there.
So let's talk about knowing your mate, right? Because you see in the movies when the husband loses the job and, oh my God, I don't want to tell my wife, you know, that sort of thing. But here he's like, so y'all trying to give me an ultimatum. I'm trying to get y'all to understand I'm not the one.
Yeah.
And so that was ultimately the day you left, correct? What was your thought process when you heard about it?
So I was,
She said she was going back to her dad's.
So I was pregnant, and I was just at home, and honestly, I was just like not in a mindset of new news. I didn't want to hear anything, especially them telling me, that hey, we're gonna have to do something else. Like, what do you mean? So it wasn't. I didn't accept it very well initially, but I do know him, and I know that no matter what, things are going to be, one, taken care of, and two, you may not always see the vision at first, but if he's saying it, it's the one that makes the most sense, because he thinks of it in so many different outcomes, how it could possibly, just blow up and not work. He thinks of things. Yeah, he thinks of the what ifs every time. And so I just trust him. And I literally tell him, like, ever since day one, I've always told him, like, I will follow you blindly. Like, no matter what. I may fight you at first, like, verbally. I may not want to hear you at all, but it always comes back to, you are right.
Do you actually say those words, and you just be like, all right.
Oh no, I can accept accountability. I can accept it. Good. If I know that I was wrong, then I will absolutely say, dude, like, when you said this, and this, like, I will be specific to what he was right about. I won't just openly say, like, man, you're right. Like, I'll break it down and say, look, you were right when you said this, and this. And then I'll just, maybe try to give my input, but from there, I was a little nervous, but we got into insurance first.
Okay.
And so we did that together.
Car insurance, life insurance.
Life.
Okay.
Yeah. And I saw him. So I was like not even months postpartum. And I had True, which is our oldest. She's sitting in the tub. And I've got the baby breastfeeding. And I'm sitting on the toilet watching her, literally just sitting on the toilet. She's in the tub. She's small. She's only 3. So I'm sitting in the bathroom watching her, and make sure she's okay in the tub, breastfeeding the baby, and studying for my insurance test.
Wow.
I studied and got it done, passed the first time within 4 days.
Wow.
Not even months postpartum. Like, when he has vision, like, he doesn't waste time. Yeah. So I knew that I needed to, it's time
come
to
on
come
with
on.
it.
Yes. And so we got into insurance together. And then from there, we really just learned that we're a duo and a real team that's going to take ourselves to the next level.
Yeah.
And so we got into real estate and just jumped head in.
Nice.
Right in there.
Dive.
Yeah.
That's nice. What pointers would you give to the couples? Pre-coupling, just, somebody pull up on you.
Yeah.
What would you, as a single parent, as somebody who doesn't have, going into a situation where you're meeting a single parent, whether it's a male meeting a woman or vice versa, what advice would you give?
I would give the advice of being open-minded and reciprocity, like, for real. It's huge because you cannot actually expect someone to want to dedicate time to you aside from their life. They're literally, it's them and their child. So alone time is probably very slim in the first place, but you can't expect them to want to even dedicate any kind of time to you if you're not willing to just be open and listen to them from the start, from the very start. So my thing would be just to be open-minded and to just be able to give and not expect anything in return, but always give from your heart. Because when you give from your heart, you're always going to get back 10 times.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, that would be my thing, is to be open and to just be willing to give, even though you may not be in a space or in a mindset to. And when I say give, I don't just mean money, but like literally just acts of kindness. Be able to give, and not just sit there and say, "Well, what can you do for me?" Well, why should I sit here with you? You have to be willing in order to receive. So, yeah.
And you, sir, what you got?
For me, I would give the advice to date. I feel like as far as my age group, well, I feel like we're getting to it now, but before it wasn't really like a date thing. It was kind of like, hey, I want this, like let's do Netflix and chill, or whatever. Like that. So I was definitely
Which was
saying,
not the case. He took me on a date. So let's just say that.
An actual date
Yeah.
outside the house.
oh yeah, on the first day we met.
Yes, he took me to the candy shack and then he took me to the yard house.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so the reason why I say, go on a date first is because you'll be able to really talk and to know that, hey, if this person that
really talk.
I even want to go home with,
Yeah, really talk. Okay.
We literally sat there and talked for like hours until they were like, okay, we're closing, kitchen's closing. And we talked. Yeah.
And then the other thing, other advice that I would like to give is, well, I mean, there's a lot of advice I would like to give, but it's like, well, really, the only other thing I would say is like to not give up, like especially if you have children, with someone. I feel that just for me personally, I was, like I said, I was raised in a house with my mom and my stepdad, and my dad and my stepmom was here as well. But I would say for my children, and we both have the same goal, is that we want to make sure that our kids are raised within the same household as their parents, both, mom and dad. And so for any couple that's maybe like having kids or maybe a struggling couple, I would say that it's definitely worth keeping it together and being in it for the long haul. I will say that you will, come across your rainy seasons to where, you may have problems. You may not be able to see it to the end of the day. You may get cheated on or, whatever. But that should not be the end of it. For one, it's because you do have this life that you just created that's really beautiful, and you both have a responsibility to raise this person to be the best person that they can be in this world.
With as minimal trauma as you
Yeah.
can.
And then the other thing, it just makes you a stronger person in the end, because it gives you that, basically like that grit that you're able to have and that you need in order to maneuver through life. Because think about it, I look at it as like how you do one thing, it's how you do everything. So if you're able to just walk away from your relationship because something small happened, you're walking away from everything else in your life because of something small happening. And you're not even able to create the life that you want because you're not able to endure anything.
Yeah. Wow. That's huge. That's huge. That's something that needs to be repeated. Can you repeat that? When are you having your seminar again? I keep asking you, but you still ain't gave me a date, sir. And that's the one word that I was looking for was communication. Is so huge. And I feel like it enables so much, the balance.
And I would say, don't just talk about like relationship stuff as well. Like, because I know that like when new couples get together, it's all about, I want to talk about how much I love you and this and that. Like that is irrelevant.
You said really triggered this funny bone over here. I want to know what you laughing at.
No, that's so true. Like, there's a difference between meaningful communication and just communication, right? Like, there's so many times where you will see people and you'll see them out, maybe even just to dinner, And they're just sitting there on their phones because they don't even know how to have meaningful communication. They'll probably look up and say a few words to each other,
And
just
that's it.
communicating. But it's got to be stronger than that. Like, your partner should be your best friend, and not necessarily to say that you have to throw away your best friends or replace anybody. It's just simply that if they should know you through and through. Is what I'm saying. And so when he had said that was funny because you see that a lot. Yeah.
Which means there has to be uncomfortable conversations as well.
Absolutely.
Growth is uncomfortable.
Ain't it?
Yeah. If it's comfortable, then you're not going to see any changes. You have to change to see change. Yeah.
These youngsters in here trapping some millions. When y'all having y'all couple seminar again? I thought I had a date. No? A book? No? Okay.
You never know about the future.
You never know. I'm just saying. So, we are going to take another break and then come back and talk real quick about the books and where to find you.
Okay, cool.
Life is better when you are living on purpose, but many times we get stuck in the rat race and in the mundane task of our day-to-day lives, causing most to lose sight of their purpose. That's why certified life coach, inner healer, and business strategist LaFlower Bowie is here to help you get calibrated to your calling through proven systems, techniques, and resources. Order a copy of her book, Principles to Reposition, to assist you with your journey, or schedule a free clarity session to kickstart the journey. After these sessions, clients have stated they found clarity and opened their eyes to things they had long forgotten. So get social and follow LaFlower on all social media platforms at LaFlower Bowie. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you. If you're looking for a keynote speaker for your next event, look no further than Miss Mimi of Mimi Speaks, specializing in panel discussions, women's luncheons and conferences, and fashion shows and trade shows. Miss Mimi brings her unique blend of experience and training to make a lasting impression on your guests and clients. With powerful, engaging, thought-provoking topics and presentations, Miss Mimi will provide your guests with meaningful takeaways and life-changing revelations. Also available for red carpet interviews and premieres. Email us today at iammissmimi@gmail.com for booking information. That's iammissmeme@gmail.com. If you're looking Are you looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle but have less than perfect credit? Look no further than Mi Amigo Motors, offering in-house financing to help you build or reestablish your credit. All vehicles are put through a multi-point inspection, and their award-winning customer service and on-site service center will make your buying experience stress-free. I know you got your stimulus check and it's tax refund season, so stop by Mi Amigo Motors today at 9729 Long Point Road or give them a call at 832-548-5927 to reserve your appointment for their VIP approval. Again, that's 832-548-5927. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you. If you're looking for healthy meal prep, family-style meals, or catering for your next event, look no further than the East Traveling Square Kitchen with Chef Square, Alan Phillips, specializing in soul food, family-style dining, and southern flavor. Chef Square can adhere to dietary needs like keto and bariatric meal prep without compromising on taste. Take advantage of weekly meal plans like the Starter Pack, 5 meals for $75 with 3 entree choices. Additional meal plans and contact-free delivery is available. Contact Chef Square of the East Traveling Square Kitchen today at 832-495-8836 and tell them Stunner Radio sent you. This show is sponsored in part by Houston's own multimedia mogul, Lisa the Boss Lady, motivational speaker, travel agent, sales consultant for Bye Bye Belly, Bedroom Candy, and Candy Coated Cosmetics, and coming soon, the co-host of the hot new talk show, Love and Entrepreneurship. If you're looking to start a business or you just need some inspiration, contact Lisa the Boss Lady. It's time to boss up in 2021. Follow her on Facebook and Instagram at Lisa the Boss Lady or visit her website, lisathebosslady.com. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
The same relationship, they'll go get advice from somebody that's single.
And we're back. That part. So you already know behind the scenes is so off the chain here at the Love Power Radio Show. Wish I could tell y'all everything we talked about, but they still dropping niggas and won't tell me when they little seminar is. But I digress again. So, but let's talk about real quick your 2 books, Finesse and How to Buy Real Estate in Texas. What made you title and write that?
How to Buy Real Estate in Texas.
Yes.
Well, so I had a cousin. And
wait a minute, that wouldn't look Quay, was it?
No.
Okay, never mind.
So, so I had already been, in real estate, but I had a cousin who sent me a text after I wrote the first book, Finesse, and he was like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" I'm like, "What is it?" And so he's like, "Can you teach me about real estate?" I'm like, "Sure." So I started, teaching him, and then another a client that I was in the middle of a transaction with, she had a question about earnest money. Okay. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, like, because you would just think, I told her about the process of the home buying experience and all the steps included. And then as far as my cousin, he's a homeowner, but still she's going through the process right now. And even though I've already explained to her what the process is, she still has questions about it. My cousin, even though he's a homeowner and he still wants to learn about real estate and how the ins and outs of how it works. And so I saw that, okay, these are both 2 individuals who are on different paths in their life right now, but they still have the same question. And then when you go on Google and you look it up, how to buy a house, you'll see that that's one of the most Googled questions that's on there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so clearly, that's one of the biggest searches and concerns of people around the world. I even Google how to buy a house as well. And the steps that it tells you on there is pretty vague. It doesn't give you in detail exactly what it is. It tells you, but you don't actually know what none of the stuff means.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, okay, well, there's nothing that's out there that's educating people and that's giving them what they exactly need. And I also looked at the fact that me being a real estate professional and the deals that I'm in, how I'm able to maneuver and, really I'm trying to figure out a way to say it without bashing another real estate professional.
Darn it.
But
I'm just kidding.
I guess people that's not as competent as I am in the industry.
Okay.
And you see that when you're dealing with them, it's like, well, wow, I wish that you were representing your client in a better way, but this is business and my client is my priority right now. So I'm just going to do whatever I can, to get this deal closed in the favor of my client and not really educate, the other party on it until after the fact that the deal was done.
Wow.
But that's too late for the individual that's selling their house or that's buying a house.
Yeah.
So the book was for that purpose, to help educate those who are in the process or who are thinking about purchasing a house, for them to know what's going on and for them to hold their real estate agent accountable also on all the documentation that goes inside of it. I know as a realtor, and I know in my first transaction, it was pretty much just all the realtors now that's been in the business for 30, 40 years, and they're just sign this. And that's because that's what I was taught. But then
without explaining.
Yeah. So then it's well, hey, the client has signed this, but do you know what all they have? So then it's well, after the client maybe receives a document, then they have all the questions. And then now you're having to backtrack and explain what you already should have done in the beginning. And it's taking you longer now because they're looking at the document. And, when they're looking at something that was never explained to it before, they're going to have 1,000 more questions than they would have had, before.
That's so true.
And so I just saw hey, this is a need for me to do this. I had been thinking about writing a book for, 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
And I had started, maybe got a page done, and I was just man, I can't do this. I don't know where to start. And then she invited me to this pop-up with Torreya, Avant, and Donnie Wiggins.
Okay.
They're YouTube influencers. and they were there and they were talking about writing the book, and they were also talking about their YouTube podcast and stuff of that sort. And me, it's my mindset. I'm always looking at things on a business perspective.
Okay. Never would have guessed it.
And so, like the whole time, it's like, yeah, I'm sitting here listening to them, but I'm also listening to basically their pitch, to everyone inside of the room. It's like, yeah, we're coming here to get knowledge, but there's really a pitch. And I wanted to know how they're doing this and what all goes into it. And so I just kind of like sat there and just like soaked up all the knowledge. And the knowledge that I soaked up, I was able to take that and then apply it to writing Finesse.
Nice.
And then once I finished Finesse and I got that test message, I was like, okay, well. And then I did that. And so for Finesse, where I got that from is.
I was definitely going to ask.
Yeah. So.
And what's in it?
My little brother, Steven, he had this friend. And that friend, he would always be like, finesse. And it's so annoying that it gets on your nerves. But he was always like, that's finesse. And so, just like thinking, and I'm like, well, what does finesse means?
Okay.
And finesse means to do something in a subtle way, but in a graceful, subtle way.
Okay.
And so I just thought about, okay, well, I'm in sales. What do I do? And it is finesse because I educate people on how to purchase things in a subtle way.
Okay.
As far as like getting them to buy or to sell something, but not just telling you like, hey, sell me your phone.
Okay. Got it.
Gotcha. There's a different way of doing it.
The presentation.
Yeah, the presentation of it all. And so that's where finesse came from.
Nice. And so, because I know earlier you gave us, we're already over. Okay. So you gave earlier some pointers from one of your books. Give us one.
Okay. Well, from which one? From Finesse or from How to Buy a House?
I mean, do both.
Okay.
I'm feeling a little greedy today.
Another pointer from Finesse besides to shut up and listen.
Even though that's huge.
Yeah, that is huge. It would be on the introduction.
Okay.
The introduction, like we all know, the first impression is the lasting impression. And so you want to make sure that you're not half-stepping or anything of that sort. So always present your best self, and you will be successful in the end when you do that. So that's a tip I would like to give from Finesse. And then the tip that I would like to give from How to Buy a House is read. Make sure that you read your contract. Make sure that your agent reads your contract, and make sure that you understand what you're reading as well. Also, anytime there's any changes in the contract, analyze that document 2 to 3 times before signing it, just to make sure that there's nothing else that was like snuck in there or anything like that.
Right. Because you have the right, and you, talking to the people, have the right to ask questions, to read the documents before you sign. We are in an age where people will just say, oh, just sign this, and don't explain. I was raised in the era, because I'm 20 years older than you, both y'all, feeling some kind of way, no. But that was one thing that my dad pushed. And when you said, just read, I could have sworn I heard that. I was like, oh, wait, you know him? But that was huge then. It was like, you don't put your name on nothing if you don't read the fine print. And so for me, even when I talk to my friends about different stuff, make sure you read it, make sure you ask questions, you know. And even I have to remind myself in certain situations, because this just sign right here. Well, what does that say? And don't be going hot at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then I'm gonna have to put on my tennis shoes.
Yeah.
I try not to, because it takes a lot to put this makeup on. But anyway, so that's huge. And that's a good one too. I like that. And you must be. I just thought about it. Those 2 pointers sound like old school people. Always present your best self. Because that was what we were told growing up. You know, you don't walk out this house looking any kind of way. You will represent this house like you're supposed to. You know, don't be walking out here like you raised in a barn. Right?
I mean, that's law.
Okay. I didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Sybil, what you got?
From what?
A pointer.
From the books
Sure, or just in general.
in general.
Because you got a lot going on. You
Mhm.
sitting over there just
I
smiling and
do.
laughing.
do.
You at the house all by yourself.
Mhm. I don't know. I guess give me a little direction here.
Well, so let's see. He was talking about always present your best self. I know when I asked earlier, you said there were so much other things that you wanted to, kind of give. You can pull from that if you want to give. Just give ideas or pointers on life's lessons, some that you learned.
Yeah. Okay. Something that I learned that definitely goes into business as well is that if you have approached an issue or a challenge and you don't learn from it, it will occur again. So go through everything that you go through. Do it with a purpose and an understanding. Don't just go into something and go through with emotions. Actually pay attention to what's happening. Read if you need to read it. Do your research if you need to do your research. Hear what the people are saying. And if you come to a challenge or an issue within that situation, make sure you're learning from it instead of taking it on to the next thing and the next thing, because you won't have success like that.
That's true. And that is good for every part of life. Stop, breathe, read, pay attention, so that you can absorb everything. My tidbit, y'all know I normally call it a love note. It's just something to think about for the next 7 days, because we are at the end of the hour. I came across this post earlier. It says you become what you feed your mind. And on one side of the page, it has this brain that's holding a fork and a knife, and it's eating drama and bad news and negativity. And then on the other side, it has another brain that's eating discipline, positivity, holiness, nutrition, wisdom, and dreams, thus giving them energy to go on. And of course, the two look totally different. One is dark, one is not. So make this a week that you watch what you feed your mind. Girl, Miss Mimi, aka Mimi the Great. I'm sorry, I said that and I didn't even understand what I said. Thank you guys so much for coming through. I really enjoyed y'all. I can't wait to have y'all back.
Thank you.
Might have to separate y'all. Sis be holding it down over there. We're gonna have girl talk or something. Girl time, girl talk, something. Love you though.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you all for coming and sharing your information, because I really, to see that your relationship to me is one that needs to be seen, and that it's possible to have at such a young age.
Thank you.
That's in the Black community, really? It is possible. So I can't wait to see what else you guys got going on. Seminar, play, something. Until next time, I holla.
Are you looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle but have less than perfect credit? Look no further than Mi Amigo Motors, offering in-house financing to help you build or reestablish your credit. All vehicles are put through a multi-point inspection, and their award-winning customer service and on-site service center will make your buying experience stress-free. I know you got your stimulus check and it's tax refund season, so stop by Mi Amigo Motors today at 9729 Long Point Road, or give them a call at 832-548-5927 to reserve your appointment for their VIP approval. Again, that's 832-548-5927. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.